How fake smiles became a survival strategy. The one that hurts your cheeks. The one that says I'm fine when you're falling apart inside. This isn't about lying. This is about surviving. Because somewhere along the way your nervous system decided that smiling even when it's fake was safer than showing the truth. Today we're breaking down how fake smiles became more than politeness. They became armor. 1. The smile as a shield. It starts earlier than most people remember. You're a child barely old enough to name your feelings, and already you're being taught which ones are acceptable. You cry because something hurts, and instead of comfort, you're met with discomfort. A quick shush. A forced smile from an adult who doesn't know how to hold space for your sadness. Turn that frown upside down, they say with a laugh that doesn't reach their eyes. So you do. You wipe your tears. You curve your lips upward, not because the pain is gone, but because you've already learned pain makes people uncomfortable, and uncomfortable people pull away. Your nervous system starts keeping score. When you're quiet and smiling, you're praised. When you're honest and upset, you're scolded or ignored. The equation writes itself in your subconscious: expression equals exposure. And exposure is dangerous. So instead you learn to armor up. You use your smile like a shield, not to connect, but to protect. It becomes a reflex, not a response. You smile to diffuse tension. You smile to avoid questions. You smile to make other people comfortable even as your body quietly begs for help. This smile doesn't reflect joy, it hides vulnerability. It tells the world I'm okay even when your chest is tight and your thoughts are unraveling. But to the outside world, it's convincing. People don't look deeper when they see a smile. They assume you're fine. And so you become invisible in plain sight. And here's the hardest part: it works. The fake smile buys you peace. It smooths over conflict. It earns praise. So you use it again and again, until one day it becomes automatic. You don't even realize you're doing it. Someone makes a hurtful comment, you laugh. Someone crosses a boundary, you nod and smile. Not because you're okay with it, but because your body learned long ago smiling is safer than speaking. Smiling won't get you in trouble. Smiling won't make anyone uncomfortable. But behind that smile, you're disappearing. One forced expression at a time. Not because you're dishonest, but because you were trained from the earliest moments to choose survival over authenticity. And the cost of safety was your truth. 2. The smile that became default. At some point, you stop noticing when it happens. The smile slips on like a mask you forgot you were wearing. You walk into a room, and it's there. Someone asks how you're doing, and before your brain even forms an honest answer, your lips are already upturned. I'm good, you say like it's scripted. Because it is. Because this isn't just habit anymore, it's default. You smile when you're overwhelmed. You smile when you're uncomfortable. You even smile when you feel like crying. Not because you're trying to deceive anyone, but because somewhere deep inside your nervous system still believes that pleasant equals safe. It doesn't matter if you're falling apart inside, the outside must be composed, agreeable, likable. That's the deal your body made a long time ago, and it's been honoring it ever since. And what's worse, people reward you for it. They call you so positive, so easy to be around. They admire how calm you seem. They have no idea your smile is actually a camouflage hiding chaos, anxiety, loneliness. You've become fluent in the language of emotional suppression, and your smile is your accent. You speak it so well, even you start to believe it. But beneath the performance, your body knows. Your jaw clenches. Your shoulders ache. Your energy drains fast because it takes effort to hold back what's real. And eventually it catches up. Maybe in burnout, maybe in panic attacks, maybe in that numb, hollow feeling where joy should be. Because when the smile becomes default, connection becomes distorted. People respond to the version of you that's always fine, not realizing there's a different you buried underneath. You begin to wonder if anyone actually sees you, or if they just see the mask. And the longer you wear it, the harder it becomes to take off. You fear what might happen if you stop smiling. What if people pull away? What if they think you've changed? What if the real you isn't as lovable? So you keep smiling. Because it's safer. Because it works. Because it's what you've always done. But deep down, you know it's not you anymore. It's armor. And even armor, when worn too long, starts to hurt the one wearing it. 3. The cost of constant smiling. There's a price to every performance, and the longer you hold the smile, the heavier it becomes. At first, it just feels like tension, a bit of strain in your cheeks, a tightness in your jaw. But over time, the cost moves deeper. It slips into your body like fog, chronic fatigue, headaches, a nervous system on high alert, even in silence. Your body keeps the score even when your mouth says, "I'm fine." The world sees the curve of your lips and assumes happiness. But smiles lie and no one questions them. So the pain hides in plain sight. You show up. You smile. You nod through conversations, and no one knows how loud the ache is under your skin. Because fake happiness, when rewarded often enough, becomes your identity. And when that happens, grief no longer feels safe to express. Frustration gets buried, loneliness festers under politeness. And perhaps the worst part, you begin to doubt your own pain. You gaslight yourself. Maybe I'm just being dramatic. Everyone gets tired. This isn't a big deal. But it is a big deal because you've taught the world to ignore your suffering. And now you're starting to ignore it too. You laugh in conversations even when the joke cuts too deep. You smile while setting boundaries that hurt to enforce. You mirror emotional safety while internally bracing for impact. And slowly a quiet resentment begins to grow, not just toward others but toward yourself. Because deep down you know the truth: you've made yourself invisible by being agreeable. You've traded authenticity for acceptance. But it's not real acceptance, it's conditional. Based on how easy you are to be around. Based on how little space you take up. You start to feel lonely, not because no one's around, but because no one really sees you. They see the grin, the good vibes, the smooth conversation. They don't see the grief, the edge of burnout, the longing to just not smile for once and still be loved. And the irony. You want connection more than anything. But the very mask you wear to feel accepted is the thing keeping you separate. Every forced smile builds a wall where you long for a window. And eventually you realize the mask may have protected you once, but now it's what's hurting you most. 4. Why you can't just be honest. People say it like it's easy. Just be real. Stop pretending. Be yourself. But they don't understand that for some of us, being ourselves was never safe. Honesty didn't bring comfort, it brought conflict. Vulnerability didn't create connection, it created consequences. So your body learned the more truth you show, the more danger you invite. So when someone says be honest, your system doesn't hear freedom, it hears threat. Your muscles tighten, your heart rate shifts. 1,000 memories flicker through your nervous system, each one a reminder of when speaking your truth led to silence, anger, punishment, or abandonment. That's why you smile instead. Not because you want to lie, but because it feels like the only way to stay connected without being hurt. You've rehearsed this performance so long it became a second skin. It's not manipulation. It's self-protection. And every time you try to peel it back even a little, your brain panics. What if they think I'm too much? What if I disappoint them? What if they leave? So you smile through the fear. You nod through the discomfort. You shrink your truth to keep the peace. It's not because you're weak. It's because you were conditioned to survive with silence. And now even in safe spaces, the alarm still rings. Here's the reality: undoing this isn't as simple as just speak up. It's slow. Unlearning fear is not loud. It's subtle. It's shaky. It's choosing to say, actually, I'm not okay, even when your voice trembles. It's noticing when the smile creeps up, and choosing not to fake it just once. It's giving your body proof that honesty doesn't always lead to harm, and sometimes, that starts with crying in front of someone who stays, with frowning in silence and realizing no one walks away, with finally telling the truth and hearing thank you for being real, because the world may have taught you to smile through everything, but the right people, they won't need you to. They'll meet your truth with presence, not punishment. And that's how healing begins, not with forced honesty, but with safe honesty. The kind that lets your nervous system finally say, I think I can take off the mask now. 5. Learning to smile less and mean it more. Healing doesn't mean you stop smiling altogether. It means you start choosing when to smile instead of letting it choose you. It means letting your face reflect your truth, not your fear. And that's hard when you've been trained to equate stillness with rejection, seriousness with rudeness, and sadness with weakness. At first, not smiling feels like rebellion. It feels wrong. It feels like you're breaking some unspoken contract, the one that says, be pleasant, be easy, be okay. But you're not here to be okay all the time. You're here to be real. And being real means allowing space for every expression, even the ones that make others uncomfortable. It's not about becoming cold or distant. It's about becoming honest. It's about noticing when the smile tries to rise automatically, and asking yourself, do I actually feel safe? Or am I just trying to appear safe? It's pausing before the grin. It's breathing through the awkward silence. It's letting your eyes stay soft even if your mouth stays neutral. And slowly you start to find people who don't flinch at your still face. People who stay even when you don't serve them comfort. People who want the full version of you, not just the version that keeps things light. These people don't just tolerate your truth, they welcome it. They make space for your quiet, your rawness, your edges. And with them, the mask begins to crack gently, not violently. You catch yourself smiling and realize this time, it's real. Not a performance, not a deflection. Just a quiet expression of presence, of safety, of relief. You begin to learn that authentic smiles don't need to be constant to be valuable. That the ones that come naturally when you're seen, held, accepted mean infinitely more than the ones you forced for years. This is what healing looks like. Smiling less, but meaning it more. Not because you're hiding, but because for the first time you don't have to. Your fake smile was never fake. It was your shield, your language, your survival code. But you don't have to live in defense forever. You can exhale, unclench, and let your face tell the truth without fear. If this felt like your story, drop a comment, like, or share. Your brain may still think you need the mask, but your body has been waiting for someone to see the real you and not look away.